Hey guys, it's Jane. It's Friday today, so I'm here for a Friday reads. I finished a few things this week. I finished the Kate Daniels Magic Strikes, the number 3 Kate Daniels book, which I loved. I'm just a little bit sad because my local library had books 1, 2, and 3, but book 4 I'm going to have to wait on it into library loan. So, we'll just see how soon that can come along. The big book that I finished this week was Neal Stephenson's Seveneves. I feel like I need to say a bit about this because there was so much lead up. But I am planning on doing a full review, a separate standalone video, so I'm not going to say too much. This was a great book. It's probably not my favourite Stephenson, but then I've only read it once, and I find that I actually need to reread his books to get the most out of them. So I haven't finished my kind of analysis of it yet. I'll probably in a couple of weeks do it again, read it again. That tends to be what I do. I read it once and then I have a tiny little break and then I read it again. It's a book in 3 parts. And even though it's like 800 plus pages long, my main criticism of it is that I don't think it's long enough. Especially the final third. Thomas from SFF 180 has convinced me that final third really should have been significantly longer. I really think that the book is crying out for a sequel, but I don't know that that's really going to happen because I have a feeling Neal Stephenson just isn't planning that. So maybe if we make enough noise, there can be an encore volume. I'm going to try really hard to make this a quick, précis. It's a book in 3 parts. The first part is from when the moon explodes till 2 years later when parts of the moon falling down to the earth make the earth uninhabitable. So people, the moon exploding was completely unexpected, but fairly soon after that happens, astronomers get together and figure out that it's going to mean essentially the end of life on Earth. And so some sort of plan B is needed. And so the first section of the book is all about that 2 years of prepping, basically throwing as much stuff as is humanly possible into orbit. And so there's the people who are currently on the International Space Station when unexpectedly the moon explodes. A number of them were due back on Earth like in a matter of days after the moon went down, one of whom, Ivy, was coming back to get married to her fiancé. But everybody who's on the station is told, no, you're staying there. Nothing is coming back down. There are no return flights. From here on in, the only direction people are going is out, not back down. So the first section has got a lot of physics. It's got a lot of panic. It's got a lot of emotion because people are saying their goodbyes to their loved ones and coming to terms with, all this stuff. The middle section of the book is from when the hard rain starts, so at the point when no more is coming back from Earth, so that the people in the sky are completely isolated. And it runs for a year or so because even though they're all up there, everything was done in such a hurry that they've now got to actually figure out how it's going to work and actually get to somewhere safe. And there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people up there in different ways, and there's politics and drama and terrible things that go wrong. And by the end of the second section, the population of the human race has been reduced to 8 women. 7 of whom are of childbearing age, 1 of whom is past menopause, and so we have our 7 Eves. So the middle stretch of the book is by far, even though the first third is pretty you know, there's lots of sad goodbyes. The middle third is just deeply, deeply, deeply emotionally trying, because just all these things going wrong and all these crazy people doing crazy things, and you're like, will they survive? Thankfully, you know they're basically going to survive, because in all the publicity of the book, it's told you that they end up coming back to Earth, which is what happens in the final third of the book. The final third of the book is set in the far future. 5,000 years have passed, and the spaces have started to re-terraform the Earth and have started in small numbers to come back down to Earth. And the thing that happens is they discover that the Earth is not uninhabited after all, which leads to a whole bunch of really interesting stuff. So yeah, there's the first 2/3 of it is in the near future. The final third is in the far future. And the first 2/3 was great. The final third was amazing. I can imagine that some people might prefer the first part to the final part. I'm not a major hard science fiction buff, and it's hard science fiction. The first third in particular, but the first 2/3 is a lot of orbital mechanics and, and physics and material science and astrophysics. The final third is a lot more sociological drama, and yeah, that's where I really, really dug it, and that's why I feel like I want a sequel. I want to know what goes on after the because basically it's a first contact story. The final third is first contact between the spaces and the people left on Earth who somehow survived. And please run, don't walk. Neal Stephenson, Seveneves. I think it's probably going to be the best science fiction book this year, if not this decade. And given that Ancillary Mercy is due out in October, that is a big statement, but I'm going early. Okay, the other two things that I finished this week is that no, that's not the one. I finished volume 2 of Saga. I'm going to have to read volume 3 today because it's actually due back at the library today. So volume 2 was good. I'm enjoying Saga. I'm loving it. The other thing that I'm going to just really quickly mention is, I normally would never do this, talk about a picture book, but this one is just beautiful. It is Julie Donaldson, Axel Scheffler collaboration. They did the Gruffalo and many other well-known children's books. I'm just going to read you the first couple of pages of this. It's amazing, so please bear with me. The Highway Rat. The highway rat was a baddie. The highway rat was a beast. He took what he wanted and ate what he took. His life was one long feast. His teeth were sharp and yellow. His manners were rough and rude. And the highway rat went riding, 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 riding along the highway and stealing the travellers' food. A rabbit came hopping along the road and stopped with her paws in the air. For blocking her way was the highway rat, who cried out, "Who goes there? Give me your pastries and puddings. Give me your chocolate and cake. For I am the rat of the highway, the highway, the highway. Yes, I am the rat of the highway, and whatever I want, I take." So this is a riff on that famous old poem, The Highwayman. And it's amazing and hilarious. So if you have any young people in your life, you might want to look out for The Highway Rat. It's fantastic. I've also been reading Dune, as you'll know if you're seeing my videos regularly, because I've been joining in Paul's read along, which I'm actually really loving. I read a bit of the Simpsons book, which I talked about this week, but I wasn't really in the mood for it. And the first couple of chapters, there is a lot of explaining jokes. And, you know, if you've got to explain it, And I did start this, but I haven't finished it. Church history is fascinating, and so far we've had some really fascinating characters. I think when I get to the end of this, I might do a review of this one as well, because I love talking about church history, because history is fascinating and church history is really fascinating. But apart from that, I actually don't know what I'm reading at the moment. I'm June, but because of his reading schedule, I've got to keep stopping, and I don't know quite what I'm going to go on with. I'm going to finish Saga and take it back to the library today. So if anybody has any like super cool suggestions, I'm open. I'm open to suggestions. Anyway, that's it. I hope you're all well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.